You walk in for groceries. That's your mission. Bread, eggs, maybe some Gatorade if you're feeling fancy. But then the electronic aisle, you know the one. End cap full of big glossy screens glowing like they're calling your name. Flashy signs saying Smart 4K Roku TV limited time. A 55-inch LED TV for the price of dinner. Tempting, right? Let me be straight with you. That's not a deal. That's bait. Kroger, Walmart, Target, they're not electronic stores, they're convenience giants. So when they stock TVs that seem too good to be true, spoiler, they are. Today, it's time we talk about the TV brands you should absolutely avoid at Kroger in 2025. Because let me tell you, some of these screens are a slow rolling pain you don't need in your living room or anywhere else. These aren't just budget options, they're time bombs. Flickering, lagging, HDMI port snapping disasters wrapped in discount stickers. And we're not just naming names, we're calling them out with receipts, real-world complaints, and first-hand horror stories from shoppers who thought they were scooping up a bargain. Poor souls. Let's jump in. First up, ONN. Yep, it's everywhere. You see it and think, hey, homegrown brand, Walmart owns it. Must be solid, right? Wrong. ONN TVS at Kroger are like off-brand cereal. Familiar enough to feel safe. But taste? Well, different story entirely. One buyer told us, I bought a 50-inch ONN smart TV from Kroger. It took 5 minutes to boot up. Apps crashed. YouTube looked like 480p. And after a month, the remote just stopped. Technical support? More like spiritual support at this point because you'll need prayer and patience. And here's the dark little secret. Most ONTVS use the cheapest available panel batches. They're manufactured in different factories, sometimes in the same line as discount brands you've never heard of. Also, if you're hoping to play games on one, bless your heart. Input lag is bad. Like, I'm pressing jump but my character dies first is bad. Just don't. Next. Nah, the TV brand that time forgot. Talk about a relic. This brand's been tossed around like your fourth cousin's mixtape. We're talking TVs that literally die within weeks. One guy told us the screen flickered so hard he thought the matrix was glitching and the audio. You ever put a phone in a cereal bowl and used it as a speaker? That's what a NACA TV sounds like. Tiny, echoey, and weirdly aggressive. And don't even think about watching from an angle. Even 5 degrees off center and the picture washes out like an old newsletter printed on a home printer. One user shared this gem. My NACA TV worked for 3 months. 3. After that, it started restarting randomly. Sometimes it wouldn't turn on for hours. Best part, Kroger's support told me to call NACS. NA told me to go back to Kroger. I'm just out here with a very expensive paperweight. Okay, you're thinking fine, don't trust off brands. What about RCA? Never ever again. RCA used to mean something. Real Cable Authority or Radio Corporation of America, whatever. The point is, they were once legit. Even your grandma probably had fond memories. Today, RCA at Kroger is a museum of disappointment. Inside those nostalgic shells, the performance is rough. Black levels? Nah, they're charcoal gray at best. Sound? It rattles. Literally vibrates like your speakers are coming loose, because sometimes they are. One customer review summed it perfectly. I thought I was buying a classic, but this thing rebooted 5 times on setup day. Netflix crashed every time I clicked browse and the stand wobbly like a card table. That's the thing too. They build this stuff to look sleek just long enough for it to leave the store. After that, good luck. Oh, and if you love watching sports, RCA handles fast motion like your uncle handles caffeine after 10. PM jittery, weird, and full of regrets. All right, ready for a curveball? Here comes Scepter. Even the name is weird. What is this? A Game of Thrones villain? But let's be real. You've seen them. The price grabs your eye. Big flashy 4K promise. Crazy cheap. And you start thinking, hey, it's probably fine for a second bedroom. Please stop. That TV belongs in no room, my friend. It looks sharp in the store because they preload perfect demo footage with pumped contrast and saturation. The one video that works well on that TV is that video. Everything else you get banding. Ever seen a sunrise turn into 4 glowing stripes of misery? That's Scepter's version of color gradation. And oh, the remote. One user said, I thought my batteries were dead. Bought new ones. Nothing changed. Turns out it just doesn't want to work half the time. Don't take that personally. It's not you, it's the remote. Scepter makes TVs that look like deals, then act like mistakes. Coming in next, JVC. Or should I say JV-Sish? Look, once upon a time, that name meant clean audio, nice visual balance, maybe even reliability. In 2025, though, that name means licensed. That's right. JVC, like many others on this list, rents out its name to manufacturers who build with the lowest ingredients. You might have panels slapped together in factories, switching owners every 6 months, and consistency out the window, glitchy interfaces, weird LED burns, ghosting, App Store errors. It's got it all. One buyer said their 43-inch JVC rebooted randomly, lost HDMI signal for no reason, and had volume spikes in the middle of the night. It's always the good ones that fall so far. And don't even waste your time emailing support. It's like shouting into a void, a very quiet, uncaring void. Let's take a moment. If you're still standing in that Kroger electronic aisle, just slowly back away. Don't make eye contact with the stack of Element TVS. Just walk because yes, Element is next. And honestly, the most deceiving of them all. They nail the design. Thin bezels, clean lines, almost premium look, but inside it's a mess. Colors dead? Check glitches during every update. Yep, frozen loading on homepage every time you launch YouTube. You bet. A guy told us, my Element TV literally froze during the setup screen. I had to soft reset it 6 times. Then, when it worked, no sound, just vibes. Called support. They said, try updating the firmware. How? It won't do anything. Poor guy just wanted to binge Bake Off. Another buyer used the phrase visual mediocrity in 4K, which kind of says it all. You don't really get 4K. You get pixels shaped vaguely like detail, like someone painted with a wet crayon. So, no, not even for the guest room, not even for your cousin who just needs something quick. This isn't something quick, it's something you quickly regret. And yet, every aisle in Kroger is stacked with them. Why? These models aren't designed to compete on performance. They're built to look good next to eggs and laundry detergent. That's it. Yeah, that's right. Clap for the marketing team. Kroger isn't looking to give you picture quality, colors that pop, or gaming performance. They just want you to toss a TV in the cart because, hey, it's cheap, and hey, it's right here. And once it breaks, they just point you elsewhere. Let's talk about Westinghouse. You see it, and you're hit with nostalgia. Oh yeah, my dad had a Westinghouse TV in the den. Yeah, when TVs were built like tanks and lasted longer than your phone plan. Today though, Westinghouse is just a name and a very tired one. These TVs are manufactured by whatever OEM won the lowest cost bid that quarter. Slap the Westinghouse logo on the front, throw a Roku sticker on the box, and boom, legacy baby. But don't fall for the packaging. You turn it on and disappointment hits you faster. Then a buffering wheel on a 200 megabits per second connection. One buyer said, I set up my 50-inch Westinghouse and the colors looked like someone spilled milk on the screen. Then came random flickers. By week 3, it had a weird green bar across the bottom. Tech support. I was told to do a factory reset. That just made the bar bigger. And let's talk about the speakers. I swear this thing sounds like it's playing through a tin can and a piece of yarn. Full volume still sounds like your neighbor's radio through a wall. So, what's the smart experience like Roku TV OS is solid when paired with solid hardware? Westinghouse lags, menu hangs, voice command errors, and once you get into brightness and contrast, forget HDR, forget dynamic lighting. You're looking at peak flashlight through a napkin energy. Buy this, and you're basically signing up for frustration wrapped in faux nostalgia. And yet, it continues. Let's talk about Magnavox next. Ah yes, another fallen star. I mean, come on. Raise your hand if you're shocked Magnavox is even still making TVs? Well, plot twist. They're not. Not really. That logo on the box, it's rented, slapped on products made by a different company entirely. Usually one in the business of quantity, not quality. The moment you power it up, you'll notice something's just off. Shadow detail disappears completely. We're talking endless gray. Blacks become dull mush. HDR about as effective as a Polaroid in the rain. Shopper feedback brutal. The screen started flickering in dark seams after 4 weeks. 6 weeks in, the Roku App Store glitched out. After 3 months, the screen wouldn't turn on unless I unplugged it and prayed. And it's not just the screen. The build itself feels like a DIY project on life support. Screws barely hang in. HDMI ports wiggle, and the entire set cacks when you move it, like it's scared of being relocated. So, why does Kroger sell it? Because nostalgia? Sells because you see the name and trust what it used to be. But names aren't products. That Magnavox was your childhood. This one, it is a full-blown crisis. Trust me, your childhood deserved better. All right, brace yourself. We're going into dangerous territory because here comes high-ends. Now before you yell, hey, Hisense isn't that bad, you're right. Some Hisense TVs, U7, U8 series, are dang impressive. Good price, smart features, even solid gaming performance, but Kroger doesn't sell those. Kroger stocks the A6 line, the empty husk of the Hisense catalog. It looks like a Hisense, sounds like a Hisense, but this version's been watered down, stripped back, and tossed into the budget bin. Think of software that crashes randomly, motion smoothing that makes Marvel movies look like they were filmed on a potato, blacks washed, brights muted, HDR, don't get me started. One buyer put it perfectly. I bought the A6 after loving a U7 my friend had, but this TV looked like someone slapped a side screen over everything. Day scenes look okay. Night scenes, forget it. It's just shadows and stress. Gaming, meh. Unless you're playing chess in slow motion. No VRR, no high refresh, just lag, smears, and dropped frames. And you know what hurts most? You thought you were getting a deal on a known brand. That's the trick. Kroger banks on your brand familiarity. By the time you realize it's a slow-loading, app-freezing disappointment, it's already unboxed, and now you have to deal with returns. Now let's talk about one that stings real deep. Samsung. Yep, I said it. Because even the kings cut corners sometimes. Kroger doesn't sell the QLED or Neo QLED masterpieces Samsung fans love. Nope. They sell the TU7000. And in 2025, that's the budget. Strip software, no local dimming, HDR that can barely push 300 nits. One buyer was generous enough to say it works fine for cartoons. Not exactly a ringing endorsement. What's sad is the illusion of quality. It still wears the Samsung badge, still boots up with that smooth animation, still sits pretty on the stand. You feel proud for 2 days max. Then you try to watch something dark, say Batman at night, and it's just gray on gray, a soft, muddy smear of sad shadows and missed potential. And gaming. Forget Ultra, forget Fast, even forget HDMI 2.1. You're getting the visual response time of a snail in gaming mode. One guy told us, I bought this thinking I could use it for basic gaming. I tried Rocket League, couldn't hit the ball, switched back to my 2011 Plasma, actual improvement. That says enough, doesn't it? They call it cost-effective. I call it cut every corner tech. And that brings us to the heartbreak king, LG UQ70. UQ70 is everywhere right now. Kroger, Costco, even some budget Amazon bundles. And on paper, it reads like a steal. Ultra HD, smart, HDR10 support, Web OS. But oh buddy, practice or theory, this TV is a dog in a tuxedo. It'll fool you with a clean look and confident branding, then trip over its own inputs as soon as a real movie starts. Major issues: weak brightness, pale colors, slow web OS performance. Yes, even WebOS lags here. And that heartbreaking edge-lit panel that bleeds light like it's trying to escape subtle shadowing. Nah, you're getting glow-in-the-dark latte brown instead of black. One user wrote, I watched Blade Runner 2049 on the UQ70. Every moody scene looked like it was filmed in a foggy bathroom. Atmosphere gone. Even the sound quality is meh. And for an LG, that's just insulting. Worse, this model is often a store-exclusive variant, meaning it's a watered-down version not sold in most high-end stores. That makes comparisons harder. Less reviews, less accountability, more confusion. And when it breaks, you're stuck between Kroger shrugging and LG stalling. So, no, this isn't Web OS magic. It's corporate trickery hidden in cardboard. Word of advice. If you ever see a decent LG TV at Kroger, ask yourself, why is it even here? Is it overstock? A slow-selling SKU that didn't move elsewhere? Or was it built specifically for low-margin retail? Probably one, maybe all three. And the cycle continues. By now you're probably thinking, okay, so are there any safe bets? Like just one? Here's the thing. Even name brands pull bait and switch tactics. It's not always Kroger's fault. Some models are built for price points. You get semi-smart features, basic panels, limited firmware support, and you feel like you're buying quality until you take it home. But when you buy from a proper electronics retailer, your chances improve. You get access to current software updates, slightly newer panels, better customer support, and full model breakdowns to compare. Kroger, Target, Walmart. They don't prioritize that. They want the box to say 4K and 60 inches. That's it. Once it's in your cart, their job is done. So, do yourself a favor. Walk past the glowing TV aisle. Get your milk. Get your bread. Resist the siren song of that too convenient display. And if you really need a cheap TV, buy used. Buy refurbished from a known dealer. That sketchy $249.50 sitting next to the peanut butter aisle. That's not a deal. That's a digital disaster waiting to break just after your return window ends. Yep. Round of applause for marketing again. They make it look so easy. Don't fall